Hello everyone, welcome to another physical media haul video. Instead, we're going to do a something completely different as I decided to go to a used bookstore called McKay's, which if you don't live in the Tennessee or North Carolina area, is basically a used bookstore that also serves a lot of not only a lot of music on vinyl and CDs, but they also sell Blu-rays and DVDs and action figures and video games and all that stuff. It really, if you go to North Carolina and Tennessee, I really recommend checking out one of the stores. I went to the location in Knoxville to pick up the majority of my titles, and I really loved the place. It was actually one of the very first bookstores I actually really appreciated. Unfortunately, I'd like to say no Laserdiscs this time around. I was initially going to pick up some Laserdisc titles. I was hoping to find and, get some nice stuff, but unfortunately, that never happened, and thus I missed out on titles that none of the titles there were really on either of these two hauls. I was really intrigued by just picking up. So, no Laserdisc titles. So that journey is kind of just halted for a moment. But what I did though is collect a bunch of DVDs, and I got another Blu-ray. All these are, well, actually, the Blu-ray I got from a different store as we were cruising around different thrift stores and seeing what else was there. So I guess I might as well just start with that. I never owned this on Blu-ray today. Not today. I've never owned this on Blu-ray for I've owned it on DVD for a while, but I've never owned it on Blu-ray. And that is the Lego Movie. Yeah, not a title that you would think, not a title where you think I wouldn't have had a copy of. Shit, let me phrase that. This is not a kind of shocker that I don't have this on Blu-ray. I didn't have on Blu-ray until today, because this one is I actually really love this movie. I think a lot of people love this movie, so I don't really need to explain all that much. But this is a very funny movie overall, and I don't really have a lot to add. So but yeah, this one I came across at a different thrift store, not McKay's. This was the only one I picked out outside that. So but yeah, this is a Blu-ray 3D release. So the 3D has given its own disc, and then you have a DVD and the Blu-ray here. So I can still play this and not have any issues. Just use the regular disc that's in here. If you want to try this digital code, go ahead. But it didn't work for me. There's also a code for the Lego Movie video game, which I don't even think this is like a special code. You just get it, which nowadays you don't really need that code, since you can probably just look online and all that. But yeah, there's a bunch of Lego promotions, like stuff that's not really that mine of interest, but I love the Lego Movie. I think it's a really well done animated film, and I just kind of a shocker, I never owned it on Blu-ray until I think like a few weeks ago. I've been really kind of holding this haul off because wanted to go back a second time to McKay's and then record a video. I don't know where to set this Blu-ray, and I just dropped it. All right, there we go. And now we actually get on to the first. I went twice. The first one I went once again a few weeks ago on the same time I picked up the Lego Movie Blu-ray. So what I did here was organize this from cheapest to the most expensive item I got there, and none of these really were expensive by any chance. For used DVDs, I all got these for a fairly nice price of around $1.95, which really is a nice price for a DVD if they work very well. The only one where I really missed out on was the Passion of the Christ Definitive Edition. This one I picked up was brand new sealed, but unfortunately it just didn't work on me because, unfortunately, that DVD was released through the 2006 rot epidemic. 2006 through 2008 rot epidemic. Which, if you don't know what that is, that's basically that basically, I think a lot of, to give a brief summary, a lot of disc manufacturers were having issues with pressing their DVDs. The most notorious one back in the 90s was Sony. If you don't know, Sony was horrible at pressing Laserdisc releases to the point where basically always all of them had at least some sort of rot on them. Of course, there'll be a few releases where you basically get, away from the rot, but besides that, a lot of the releases that were, bought by customers always seemed to have rot. Until the DVD era, where Sony, I guess, stopped, fixed that issue with their DVDs. And basically, like, through this era of disc rot epidemic of sort, actually, I really shouldn't call it an epidemic. It more happened with Whammo titles, which is a Warner Bros. Pressing manufacturer, which really supplied all the Warner Brothers DVDs. However, it still got beyond that, and of course, this DVD I bought was by 20th Century Fox for The Passion of the Christ. This was actually a duplicate. I have the single disc DVD that has just the movie, but I really wanted this 2-disc one since it had all the extras, and I could check out all the extras of the film. Unfortunately, it seems like I can't be able to do that because the first disc doesn't work, and I kind of like to have a copy that works properly all the way. And I really don't know if the second disc works completely, because I didn't even try that, because I really didn't want to keep it after the first disc went out on me. So yeah, unfortunately that title I don't really have to show, and I actually put it away with all my storage because I really don't want to give it up, I guess. I don't know what I'm doing with that. I'm hoping to find a better copy that works the whole way through, and then I guess I could just, swap, I guess. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't know why I put it in storage. I just did. So, take that if you will. So, the first DVD here is a title I've actually already owned. Some of these are duplicates because I like to pick up some extra editions of some films. This is the first DVD release of Saw. Firstly, the only DVD in this entire haul I got for 95 cents. I really like this. There's a lot of different home video versions of Saw on physical media. Of course, there's the Blu-rays. But the DVDs are probably some of the most unique versions of these, because every single one of these came in one of these slipcovers, which I always think are awesome. There was also a Saw Uncut DVD, which had a little saw blade. You can look that up online, but that had a little saw blade with some fake red coloring on, blood coloring on it. Somehow, I guess it just doesn't leak, which I always found surprising. But that was a 2-disc DVD, but I think that one you really don't need anymore since the 4K is, the definitive version now. So you might want to just go for that. But yeah, the packaging on that 2-disc DVD is really nice. So if you want to take a look at that and, want to have it, it exists, and I don't think that's pretty expensive. This DVD is insanely not very expensive. Of course, when this first came out, this was a huge hit. So, you really got to expect that this DVD probably sold like hotcakes. But the main reason I picked this up is because, as I think I showed last year, I think it was actually 2 years ago, I bought the 2006 Blu-ray, which claimed to be the theatrical cut, but it was not the theatrical cut. And I think the theatrical cut of Saw is important for a few small amount of reasons. Firstly, that 2006 Blu-ray rotted on me, which really made that disc completely worth the purchase. What am I trying to say? So yeah, that Blu-ray disc completely rotted on me, and it wasn't even the theatrical cut anyway. So unfortunately, that really just made no sense to have. It really ran into an issue near the end of the film where it just completely just started digitally speckling all over the place. I played it on an Xbox. I played it also on another Sony Blu-ray player, and then it just stopped completely. So, yeah, great Blu-ray release. Her Lionsgate was having rad issues on Blu-ray, which I don't think any other distributor had an issue with, at least as far as I'm aware. Anyways, I think the theatrical cut of Saw is important because, not just because of the emissions of the gore, but because they really threw a song at the end of this Fear Factory song called the Bite the Hand That Bleeds, which appears at the end of the film. And of course, this actually includes 2 music videos, including an exclusive unrated version, which I actually haven't checked out. This has just been in my shelf. At least the shelf in this temporary Airbnb. What's nice is it includes a DTS track, which is nice. You sawed off mini feature, and you get some trailers and a promotional art gallery, which is nice. But the unrated version completely removes that song entirely and then just repeats the final theme again, which in my opinion makes no sense. Why repeat the theme as the end credit? I never understood it, especially when every other Saw film, even the unrated versions, have some kind of like heavy metal rock song at the end. It just makes no sense, and it was really one of the reasons I wanted to own this. And, why I think the theatrical cut is actually important in a way, at least for me, because I really love the first Saw film. It's obviously the best one in the franchise, and, it's a really well done, crafted thriller that's not, what most people associate to the torture porn films, which even I think that's somewhat of more of an extravagant. I just think these movies just got graciously over the top with the plot. Then again, I need to rewatch them. So, firstly, this is actually one of the first pressings. As you can see here, this is not disc 1 or anything. It's just the DVD. Because original pressings came with a bonus disc, which had a clip of High Tension and The Devil's Rejects. So basically, they just gave a 4 gigabyte DVD to both of these clips, which in my opinion makes no sense, because I swear I think those clips will be enough for this disc to be hold on, let me reset that. Firstly, I think these clips would be completely fine to just throw on this DVD, which, the standard DVD, which in my opinion made no sense why they, needed to dedicate a whole second disc. And what's funny about this is that it says it's the teaser trailer, an exclusive bonus clip, when in reality it's just an exclusive bonus clip of both films, and that's really it. So, to me, there was really no worth throwing it onto an additional disc. And, it really makes no sense. Either way, some people may think, but yeah. What am I trying to say? I lost my sentence. What was even going with that some people line? Anyways, what I'm trying to say here is that I thought this was important, and, I like this movie a lot. It's easily the best one, and, there's so many DVD packaging releases of this, so I think a lot of picking up these Saw DVDs should be pretty fun to, check through. So I thought it was a bit fun just picking out some of this one, especially for 95 cents. It made sense to automatically go for it. Now these next two the rest of these titles, I think, hold on, actually, these next 5 titles were all $195. The charge of these were both $195 each, so I really wanted to just go for them and buy them. So, first off, we have Best in Show, which I saw a few years ago. I think this one I need a quick refresh for, but I remember this being a really funny movie. This is a movie about people and dog shows and all that. Forgot what it was completely about. Actually, I think I just literally said what it's about. So yeah, this is about a few different contestants, they're dog contestants, and then the owner's running them and going through a dog show. I forgot what I'm trying to say. I'll read the back here for a moment. I'll say that. Yeah, it's a hilarious look at dog show participants. So yeah, I remember watching this and I thought it was pretty funny. So, I thought this would be a fun one to recheck out. Haven't seen this, though, again, so I probably should just throw this in and watch it one night. There we go. So, yeah, I thought about picking that one up because, it'd be fun to watch. Now, this next one I thought was interesting because this one was panned by critics when it first released, but I think it was a pretty big DVD title, but also I thought it was pretty relevant, basically in the most present events that have happened politically. This is John Q. This one is about a father who has a son that unfortunately struggles a massive heart attack at his baseball game, and basically he goes through many different insurance, with trying to, without, having the assurance to qualify to get a heart transplant for his son. Basically, he just drives over the edge and basically takes over the hospital. So I think of this movie a little bit as Dog Day Afternoon, but a little bit more of a heartfelt Dog Day Afternoon in a way. Where Dog Day Afternoon was kind of more about hold on for a moment. Great, I just spilled this. All right, back to what I'm saying. Where I think Dog Day Afternoon kind of felt, it wasn't a heartfelt movie. This one definitely goes for a more heartfelt story, You kind of just have to watch the movie for yourself, but, I think a lot of the movie is somewhat relevant today in a way, especially with health insurance not being the best, and the Luigi Mangione case. So I thought this one was a bit interesting to watch, and my dad also recommended this around the same time, so I found this for $185 and I gave it a shot. So yeah, great movie overall. I actually really found it a great movie overall, in a way. Like I said, it was more of a heartfelt Dog Day Afternoon, except it was not entirely just the heist. It was more of a story-packed movie, but the movie John Q kind of reminded me a bit of Dog Day Afternoon in a way. Now, this next title I owned, actually, but this is the Superbit DVD of The Fifth Element, which this is the second DVD release of this film. I have the first one, which is a reissue, which is just the widescreen side only. And that DVD was a reissue of the 97 DVD, which was basically a movie-only disc. Basically, it has a nice menu to it, but you can only access it through the menu button, because this movie is the DVD is completely in autoplay, and once the movie's over, it basically just stops the disc. So, thought this one would be more of an upgrade because it not only has DTS audio, but because it actually gets a full dual-layer disc, unlike the 97 DVD, where the one side, which was a 4 gigabyte single-layer side, was the widescreen version, and the other single-layer side was the full-screen version. This time, which equals to about dual layers, except, it's split between two sides. This is given its own one-sided dual-layer disc, and accordingly, to the back, double the bit rate of the original release, which, honestly, they might actually not be lying, because that DVD was, once again, a flipper disc. And it wasn't like a dual-sided disc, unlike the Terminator 2 Ultimate Edition DVD, but, something more on the lines of that. I don't want to go on this for too long. Unfortunately, my camera's footage is not, it's struggling a little. And of course, all Superbit DVDs are widescreen presentations in the original language. So, it's nice to get the original language and not a dub on a secondary track. And, if you want to listen to it and want to read it in a different language, you can just select the subtitles. So, yeah, so basically this same cover on here, but the back is changed, actually. This, I think, is reduplicating the 97 back. I haven't seen this in a while. I think it might be fun to just rewatch it again. And of course, the Superbit DVD's disc art is red. I only have one other Superbit DVD, which is Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which I just watched recently. This one I haven't seen yet, and I didn't bring out my old DVD to compare, so this one will just be me viewing the movie instead of comparing the disc quality and everything. However, I highly bet this is better because it has a DTS audio track. So, and of course on the back they give you what the Superbit format actually is, and that's why they have this. Well, that's why they have this whole catalog here, and of course Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon because I already own it. Which was one of the, I think it was one of the first Superbit DVDs. So yeah, this basically explains what it is and, how special features can take up the majority of your disc size, even your disc size. And then the audio is given a small portion, because, you don't want to use too much audio track. So then the video gets like the entire disc, which is nice. Of course, titles like Lawrence of Arabia or Das Boot Director's Cut were given dual discs because, well, how are you going to get good disc bit rate and DTS 5.1 audio on a movie that's like 3 hours long? So stuff like Lawrence of Arabia and Das Boot Director's Cut were given 2 discs. So, that rewatching this movie should be fun. Of course, there's a deluxe DVD now that is also a Superbit DVD, which has not even both a Dolby Digital and DTS track, but also all the same subtitle options as this. But that was released 4 years later in a 2-disc special edition. And it wasn't even advertised as a super mega Superbit DVD. So, yeah, fun to know, definitely is interesting. Now, this next title is really common. It is the most common DVD of this movie in existence. But I honestly think it's one of the worst DVDs of this title, or at least one of the weakest. And that is the Terminator 2 Ultimate, pardon my language, Terminator 2 Extreme Edition DVD. I feel horrible saying that to the Ultimate Edition DVD because that's not what I meant to say. Because the Ultimate Edition DVD is an absolute must-own DVD title. In my opinion, it goes down as one of the best DVDs you should own. And, it's out of print, so you're obviously going to have to find out on something like eBay, but you can find that for very cheap, and you should obviously go for it. It is one of the best DVDs I've ever played. You'll find there's a few versions of that. One that's a dual-sided DVD, which you aren't losing anything because it's a dual-layered, dual-sided disc. So basically that disc is 18 gigabytes in total, just 9 gigabytes on each side. There's a second pressing because from what I've heard, the 18 gigabytes were harder to manufacture, so they just re-released it with 2 DVD 9 gigabytes, according to the back of the case on that DVD, which meant that you were still getting the same content with no compression. It was just on 2 DVDs and not a dual-sided DVD. So you can find a few pressings of that, and then there was a pressing with the metal sleeve, so definitely look out for that. This one also comes in a metal sleeve, which I think is really nice. Mine is unfortunately a bit beat up. A pristine copy would be, the skull completely white and silver. No, not white, silver. Honestly, I still really like this cover, even if it's a bit beat up. I actually think it kind of gives more of a little nice look to it all, even though it's not the greatest. This spine's a bit faded, and this spine looks like it's gone through stuff. But one of the worst, but this, in my opinion, is the worst DVD of this title to exist. Because to me, this really doesn't really add anything new and important to really sweeten up the deal. And I think the biggest insult of that is not only is all the features regulated to disc 1 via an interactive mode and a new commentary track, which replaces the old one, which I think is ridiculous, but they only give you 2 featurettes on disc 2, and all the rest is subjugated to DVD-ROM bulk dog shit. DVD-ROM bullshit. And I think the biggest issue and that in my opinion is the biggest issue with this release, because they were trying to because according to the booklet here, they state that the DVD was more of a trying to get a better version out there, even though they really didn't throw a DTS track, which, do I mind you, the Ultimate Edition did for all 3 cuts, including the third secret cut, which is the special extended edition. That cut is cut out of here. So if you want to see the alternate ending, you're going to have to go for that old DVD or the Skynet edition, which I still stick with, the Ultimate Edition DVD, because I love that so much. And, it was really, really a nice way finding that. I don't know if you can find the Ultimate Edition DVD very commonly, but you should, if you find it, pick it up immediately if it's in good shape. Of course, this is given 2 discs, obviously, one for the extras and one for the movie and one for the DVD-ROM bullcrap. Which, okay, alright, you know what, I won't say it's, the worst thing in reality and humanity, because what they were trying to do was give you an HD version of Terminator 2 high definition, which means that you could just throw the DVD in your player, and then you have to go through somewhat supplements and, break the piracy and code, which, for security measures that probably don't even work anymore. And then, of course, you need interactual player. I need to trying to say that right. Which means that this DVD will just interactual player, which is included on the DVD. And it's just not great. And of course, this requires internet connection. So why? And so basically, revolutionary for the time, if you had a really good monitor at the time. But because it's now just an old DVD-ROM feature, and now there's multiple Blu-ray editions of this, the disc feels basically worthless at this point to me. Actually, this DVD only promotes itself as the special edition version as the movie disc. You have to go through the DVD-ROM programming to access the theatrical version. Except you don't have to, because when you reach the setup menu, when you label the setup menu on the main disc menu of this DVD, you have to click to the right 5 times, and then it will highlight the future's not set, which unlocks the theatrical version. So, I mean, at least that version isn't gone, but the fact that the special extended edition is gone, all the excellent special features are gone, and there's only 1 hour of extras plus an interactive mode really makes this one of the most lamest DVDs out there. So yeah, I really just not the biggest fan of this, and I don't think I'll be using this that often. However, I really wanted this DVD because of the cool metal slip cover, which I think is really nice, even if mine is a bit beaten up. I actually kind of think it's more of an apocalyptic cover, which I think still fits the film, even though it's, not how the slip cover is supposed to look. But, I think the DVD just is one of the weakest home video editions. The picture's better, but there's no DTS track on the DVD, so you can't even get a high bitrate version of the 5.1, and then there's the less extras. And then there's the 97 DVD, which actually has more purpose because it has the original CDS mix, as far as I'm aware. All the other releases are remixed, but however, I heard you can barely hear some differences. Some releases could sound better, and, some releases don't. From what I've heard, the 97 DVD is the best sounding release, according to some people, since it is the original mix. But, it's not, truly ideal to me. But, I have it, but, it would be nice to listen to it with an actual an actual surround system, so you can actually, so I can actually, decide if it's the best mix, and it's actually worth sacrificing the special edition, which, in my opinion, does not. This next DVD is one I wasn't really expecting to find, a Criterion DVD of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. However, I think this might actually be one of the most common Criterion DVDs because, well, firstly, it's one of the more mainstream films to get a Criterion DVD. but it's also also upgrades that old Universal DVD so much because there's so much extras here. However, I've heard the 4K release is the way to go. I've heard there's some supplements on this that aren't on the UHD. I did check Blu-ray reviews. So if you find this, you might want to still pick it up. Really unique film in a way. This was actually my first time checking it out was through this DVD. So really unique film in a way, but I feel like I need to rewatch it again because this movie is an odd little movie. Gonna flip for this really quick because I don't want to take too long on this book flipping. So really nice illustrations and nice booklet management. And of course the large Criterion and chapter index and all that. I really don't want to go through that much. But yeah, this is a great Criterion DVD. I don't know if all the essays in the booklet are reduplicated on the 4K releases, so I'll have to check that. But weird movie, I would really like to check it out again. This next title is a double feature. This one I got for $2.95, and this is the double feature of El Mariachi and Desperado. Never saw El Mariachi before I picked this up, and because I really wanted to check it out, and it really wasn't streaming anywhere, I thought about, giving this a shot, especially if it included Desperado in here. So here's that spine there. Here's the back. What's interesting about the El Mariachi DVD is a weird, I think, mastering or authorizing glitch in which the director's commentary is automatically enabled instead of the Spanish track. Because there's no English dub included on that DVD, it goes directly to the Spanish track. I think the subtitles are still automatically enabled, but maybe they're not. I forgot. So yeah, you're going to have to, unfortunately, manually select Spanish and manually select English, which really is a bothersome, but, it's only a few clicks and, you're good. However, I really like the special features on El Mariachi, the 10-minute film school featurette, which actually all these extras are on the Blu-ray and DVD editions. Really watch that featurette. It is a great featurette, especially when you consider that this is a more low-budget film that was never really seeking for, someone like Columbia Pictures to distribute it. And, this movie had to be blown up from a 16mm negative to a 35mm print, or at least an inner positive, and to know how to be restored, how to be edited that way. And, the original cut was on a DV cam, I think like VCR thing. Yeah, a DV tape. I forgot what that format was. But, it's really an interesting featurette, and it's a great watch. The Bedhead short is pretty fun and, gives one of the... It's actually more of like a Spy Kids-esque, tonal short from Robert Rodriguez. And you know what I mean? It's trying to aim for a more family-friendly audience. So watch that. It's pretty fun, too. I haven't watched Desperado or any of its special features. I haven't seen the movie in a while, so I'll have to obviously rewatch. But of course, the film is split on... not the film. But the movies are on two sides. El Mariachi's given side A, obviously. And then and then Desperado's given side B. So... This is a rental from Golf Breeze Network Video. So, pretty interesting to note that. I like this booklet, though. It folds out, which is really nice. And then it gives you some critical acclaim, and then a little bit more about the movie, and a really nice booklet fold out. So, and then you have the scene index for both films. So, really interesting that they really didn't give the English dub any home video treatment on this. I always found that to be pretty weird because none of the DVDs had it. The original Laserdisc did, and I think a few different VHS tapes of El Mariachi had the English dub, but this DVD and the special edition DVD skipped out on the dub, which really is odd because I don't know if anyone's really going to watch this in Portuguese or French. Maybe there's some people... but, I don't think a lot of people will click it nearly as much as the Spanish or an English dub, so. But yeah, great movie. I loved Ellen Mariachi for what it is, and, it's a fantastic movie all throughout, so. And the most expensive out of this first part of the haul is Manhunter, which I've really wanted to see for a while, and I really need to read the book still, so I don't really have a lot to say. This one I paid $4 for, and I thought it was necessary to own, so try the selections there, and then there's a poster card, which I think is really nice, and then you get the DVD. Obviously, there's a 2-disc DVD with the director's cut, but I don't own that, so that's that first release. So that's that first haul, and now we get to the second haul, which really starts with this first DVD. I got these first 3 I got for $195. So here is the 1998 DVD of Ricochet, and I will say this. Actually, hold on. Alright, so I'll just start over, but this second haul I went a few days ago, and I got the 1998 DVD of Ricochet, which is one of the most absolutely underrated thrillers. This one I really picked up because it was more of a blind buy, and, Denzel Washington's in it. This seems to be more of an earlier role from him. So this is an absolutely bonkers, insane Denzel Washington thriller. John Lithgow is absurd. Denzel is great as always. Ice-T is in this. And this is a really underrated thriller. I really enjoyed this. Really well done written screenplay, and I think it's John Lithgow is just, you got to watch the movie. It's literally insane. But, this is a really underrated thriller that needs a Blu-ray release, but it's never gotten it. And this DVD was probably one of the not one of the best pickups, but just a really notable blind buy. So I never saw the trailer for this, but I heard about the plot and I was really interested. And it really makes it going through this shitty, non-anamorphic 16:9 enhanced, non-16:9 enhanced DVD really worth it. So you get the Cinedex here, and then you have the disc itself, which I honestly really like the disc. It's really nice and everything. But yeah, really underrated thriller. You can get this for very cheap, but this doesn't have a streaming release, so you might want to just go for this. Really great movie. I loved this movie throughout, and the plot is well done. It's definitely a revenge flick, it's definitely a revenge thriller, but it's a really, really, really great one. It's definitely a bit absurd and bonkers, but, that's what I think makes it more notable. This next DVD, I actually have this movie before, but that is the director's cut of Lethal Weapon, which is notable for adding 3 little small scenes back into the film, which, actually 4 little small scenes, which make it feel like a more fuller experience. Mainly the most notable one is Riggs walking... Is his name Riggs? Yeah, Riggs walking into the schoolyard and basically trying to take out a shooter that's shooting at children. Obviously, this is one of the most famous scenes in the movie because it's in this cut. And I guess Richard Donner doesn't like to have it in his preferred version, which is the theatrical cut. The way to see these are these old DVDs, and they are the best way to see them because none of these are just, they're DVDs, they look nice, and they're given their own disc. But these actually include DTS tracks, which I think is a rare thing that Warner does. I don't think Warner's ever done a DTS track on a DVD after this, I think, as far as I'm aware, so it's really nice for them to do it on this release. But besides that, there's no real extras here, and all the extras are on the... No, my bad. Hold on. All the extras are on the Lethal Weapon 4 DVD, which you're going to want to own if you want to, all the extras for all 4, because when the first 3 were originally released on DVD, it was just the theatrical cuts with nothing but the cast and crew bios and the trailer, which is exactly what this DVD has. Except this one definitely has more of a, as you can see, better menu, which is, full of clips from the film. And then you have the chapter stops, which I really like, is that I don't know if you can see it, but they add asterisks to the chapter stops so you can tell the contains scene material not seen in theaters. So I always thought that was a very nice touch, and there's the DVD. So I haven't seen this in a while, so, I would like to rewatch this again. But pretty amazing movie from what I remember once again. So, but it's been a few years. And the newly added scenes are pretty nice, so it's kind of worth going for it. Though the Blu-rays are most definitely the best versions, best quality versions available, but these are just slightly better versions, and some people actually prefer these versions compared to the theatrical, and then some people prefer the theatrical cut preferred to these. And the same thing I think can said for the 1994 film Leon the Professional. Seamless transition, I know. Great transition to, talking about different cuts of films. Anyways, I saw this months back, and I thought it was good, but I thought it was a little bit disturbing at times, because, knowing a lot about Luc Besson as a person just really churns my enjoyment for this, especially when it feels like, himself is kind of leaning into this. However, I'm really thinking that this might actually get me to this version, and this movie hopefully can get me past that and actually acknowledge it as a amazing action flick, as most people have said. So it might get better on a rewatch, because you're more expected for the stuff. But then again, this cut also gets a little more not great. I mean, it's not disturbing by any means. You shouldn't go ahead and not watch this, but there's definitely a little bit of the director kind of just being himself in this, and his relationship that inspired this movie, which is really, really fucked up once you read it. So hopefully I'll change my mind and see this is a more of a amazing movie overall, but as of now, I think it's just a good movie, but it's nice to own this. I'm really interested to see this version because I've seen the theatrical cut, but, the additional 24 minutes of footage might actually get me to change my mind and, actually think this is an amazing movie overall. So we'll see, but I haven't gotten around to watch that version. Though I've heard there's definitely that one specific controversial scene. Yeah, you can look that up for yourself. It's not it's not a graphic scene, and it's not that bad, but it's borderline creepy. This next DVD, this one I picked up for $2.95. This is the special edition DVD of This is Spinal Tap. Never saw this film. For the longest time, never saw it. I don't know why, but I just never did. I checked it out. I think it's a pretty great movie overall. Some jokes I don't think land nearly as well, but this is a very funny movie, and the DVD itself is great. I actually really like the menus to this they're great. It seems like, I think, if I remember, all the actors participated on the DVD's commentary and, of course, the DVD menu, which I need to listen to the commentary, because if I found the DVD menu funny, the commentary might be like that for the entirety of it, so I might need to just watch it again with the commentary. You do get some new extras, but everything else seems to be duplicated on the Blu-ray, so you might want to just go for that, unless you're me and you just want to watch the funny DVD menu. And I'm not willing to go for it. I am interested to see what the Criterion Laserdisc, or if I can get a hold of it, the Criterion DVD has, but that one has two different commentaries that have never been ported over, and so on and so forth, and a little bit tiny stuff. What's weird is that the chapter stops, there's 32 of them, but they stop after 29. This must have been a mastering and manufacturing error, so unfortunately that's the case for this, I assume. And the final DVD here is the DVD of Near Dark, which I paid the most out of. I paid this for $10, and I didn't regret it. I honestly thought it was worth it, considering how much this movie goes for. However, I remember this movie being pretty amazing overall. I was initially going to go ahead and try and get the LD as being one of the better versions when it came to audio, but I think it was actually an open mat release. However, I'm very considerate on getting that now because now I have this, and I don't really need the Laserdisc. This has a DTS track, which is really nice, and THX classification. This has some nice extras as well, including a 47-minute documentary, and the digipack is also really nice. So this is another movie that really needs a better Blu-ray out there, because I've heard the Blu-ray that's here released is not great, and goes for a little bit. Unfortunately, I'm running out of time on this clock on the recording time, so I'm really trying to not seem like I'm rushing, but I'm kind of rushing and trying to make sure I'm getting everything. So definitely trying to get from what I can and so on and such. Really nice digipack. I actually really like the packaging to this, and the outer box being more. This is nice, even though it's a bit beat up there. So nice overall, and I like that the titles are split onto 2 DVDs. So yeah. Now, if I don't know if I announced that was my final title, but that was my final title. The Near Dark was the most I paid for this entire haul. So basically you have the one Blu-ray here, which I got from a different thrift store, and then you have the end of the first haul, and then I really got some titles from this haul that I think I got a lot more out of than the titles in this haul, but still a great haul overall, and I thought I really got some sweet titles, considering how much I spent at the store, which I think I spent around $40 at. So really nice I got all these titles for, and I guess that's really the best I can really end this video off. So thank you for watching if you enjoyed my media haul, I suppose, and I really recommend McKay's as a store. I think you'll really get some nice stuff. I went to the Knoxville location. There's some locations in Tennessee and North Carolina if you're really interested. So definitely look those up. You can really get some sweet titles at your McKay's locations. And hopefully this got you into wanting to check out McKay's, or either just wanting to check out more titles on DVD and Blu-ray and such. So that's all we'll really do, I suppose. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.